Hello, everyone, and welcome to Something to Talk About.
Hi.
Thanks.
We have another packed show for you today.
Yes.
Jory is going to tell us who's happier, morning people or night owls. I think it's night owls, but
We'll see.
I'm prepared to be surprised. We've got some Marie Kondo wisdom for you. We also have a follow-up on that Facebook king cake baby debacle. And I'm going to tell you why I think Chick-fil-A might be the most romantic place this Valentine's.
I could get on board with that.
But first, Jory, have you heard about this little boy in North Carolina
No.
that was missing for a couple of days and they found him?
I heard something about it, but I don't know the full story.
This story is wild, y'all. So this little boy in North Carolina, 3 years old, went missing. He was playing in his great-grandmother's yard with some other kids and wandered off and was missing for 2 days in the woods. North Carolina saw rain, they saw freezing temperatures. So of course, you know, his family was they just feared for the worst. A little boy, you know, toddler practically out there in the woods fending for himself. Well, one of his neighbors, hundreds of people had searched for him. They had helicopters up, search dogs, searched more than 1,000 acres for him. And 2 days after he went missing, a lady in North Carolina walked outside to walk her dogs. She thought she heard something. It sounded like crying. And so there were emergency folks still in the area because they were still searching for the little boy. So she went and grabbed a paramedic. He heard it, and they found the little boy tangled up in like a briar bush, I guess, was what it was. He was cold, but they took him to the hospital. Outside a couple of cuts, scrapes, and a few bruises, he's totally fine. He's okay. And his aunt posted on Facebook that he told his family that a bear kept him company. He hung out with a bear for 2 days in the woods.
Oh my goodness. I'm wondering if that's like his imagination or if you think he really like a bear kind of took him in for a little while.
I mean, I am getting like Jungle Book, Mowgli, and Baloo vibes.
Yeah.
But so she did say that the Russian cartoon, the Russian book, Masha and the Bear, is one of his favorite books. So it could have been an imagination, or it could have been
a real bear.
A real bear.
I've heard that animals will do that. That if they sense that this person is won't harm them or anything like that, they would in some ways take them in. My dream would be to be taken in by a pack of wolves. Honestly, but that's another story.
Well, the family's theory is that God sent a friend to take care of him, which is really beautiful as well. But, I mean, I guess we'll never know for sure if he really did hang out. I mean, obviously the little boy will know for sure.
Yes.
But that's such a great, I mean, I think it's a great story, even if it was just his imagination.
Yeah.
Even if it was his imagination, maybe that's what helped keep him alive, too. I mean,
so
2 days in the woods, it's freezing, it's raining. I mean, that's tough on anyone.
For a 3-year-old, I'm shocked.
But a 3-year-old who doesn't know how to look for shelter, doesn't know how to find food.
So crazy. I'm so glad.
So many things could have happened to him, and he is okay. So it probably was a little divine intervention there.
I think so, for sure. It's funny that this is like a story about a bear, because when I was little and my cousins and I would all hang out at our camp in Mississippi, my Mimi would gather us all around and tell us this story about this. She called it the big black bear that would come out of the woods and take all the kids. But he would take us into the woods, all of us, and he would play with us, and we'd have picnics, and he was a nice big black bear, and that he would get us back in our front yard just before sundown, so our parents never knew. And so I sent this story to my Mimi when I saw the headline, and I was like, look, the big black bear is real. Like, he's real. He's really out there. And she thought it was like the sweetest thing. But yes, me and all my cousins still talk about the big black bear and the adventures we had with him. But I love that story.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. But yeah, so glad he's okay, and his family actually has a neat little story out of it.
That's awesome. So this next story is kind of a bummer for me. I don't know about you, Meg, but science says that morning people are actually happier people rather than night owls. You know, I can't say I'm super shocked by this, but I think the data is somewhat inconclusive, okay? So I'll just tell you a little bit about it. So basically, they did this study that kind of monitored 250,000 Americans and 450,000 people enrolled in the UK in this 23andMe. So I think it's like some sort of like
it's like a genetic thing. Okay.
And they kind of monitored them for a long time, and it turns out that night owls are often associated with having mental illnesses. So if you're a morning person, you're less risk of having schizophrenia and depression. But I read that and I say, okay, so maybe being a night owl makes you more prone to depression and schizophrenia, but maybe being a morning person doesn't make you happier. It's just that being a night person.
Well, here's my theory, speaking as a night owl.
Mm-hmm.
I think the morning people are what's making us all unhappy, because morning people, I'm sorry, but morning people, when they're perky before like 10 a.m., they do not make me happy.
I agree.
I need them to give me some space.
It's a little odd, I'll be honest. And I always thought being a morning person was something you had to work on. I always thought there were no real morning people, that they had just trained themselves. But apparently there are people who just wake up happy.
Oh, yes. My little sister, I can remember we would be on summer break or just breaks from school. She'd be up at like 7 or 8 a.m. ready to go, where meanwhile me and my other sister, my dad was like instituting a rule that if you weren't up before 10, you couldn't eat all of the breakfast food, because my sister Allie and I would sleep till like 11 and then wake up and want to eat all the Pop-Tarts in the house and then snack for lunch. So my dad finally was like,
made a rule. I love
if you're
that.
not up by 10, you can't eat the breakfast food.
Oh my gosh.
So my other sister Molly was the only one. But yeah, she would wake up and she would be like happy and ready to go. And we would always be like, what is wrong with you? You don't have to go to school. Enjoy it. But she's always been like that.
You know, I like mornings when I, one, don't have an alarm to wake up to.
True.
I just wake up naturally and I don't have anywhere to go. So kind of like if it was a night and I can just hang out in my bed, drink my coffee.
Well, you can wake up and enjoy the morning versus waking up and just getting out
to do something
for the day.
But the researchers did say that more data needs to be gathered and that, you know, it's not a hard scientific line on this one. So we don't know for sure. But listen, I'm going to stick with being a night owl because that's what makes me happy. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, someone else who's been making me happy is Marie Kondo. Have you been watching her show on Netflix?
I have not. I don't know anything, so you're going to have to inform me.
I've actually been savoring the show.
Oh.
Like, I'm not binging Marie Kondo. And actually, so I did read her book when it came out a few years ago, The Magic Art of Tidying Up, or that's the title in some way. I can't remember exactly.
Something like that.
But it was great. And I read the book, and they call it the KonMari method when you take her ideas and her tips and do them. So I did it to my closet. And my husband still talks about it. Like, I've always had a messy closet. I've always had a full closet. Like, I am such a clothes hound. Like, I love to buy clothes. I love to buy shoes. But then I'd have a whole bunch of my stuff in my closet that I would never wear. But I'd be like, well, I'm sure some situation will come up and I'll wear that. But so I KonMari'd my closet. I took her method, which she says you take everything out and you hold each piece. And if it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. Which was super helpful because I had some items that I was like, oh, they're basics, I just need them. But I realized when I was doing it, there were some things that I actually hated wearing. Like, I kept them in my closet, like a black shirt that I knew I would need because it could go with so many things. But anytime I wore it, I just like wasn't even happy wearing it. So I just started getting rid of that stuff. And I got rid of over half my closet. And I have not I haven't experienced my greatest fear, which is where I wanted to wear something that I had gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a long, drawn out, but that is the KonMari method.
Okay,
where
good to know.
You go through your house, you do clothes, you do books, she has like a miscellaneous items, which is called kimono in Japanese, I guess, and then keepsakes. Anyway, she has a whole method. But that's the basic point of it, is you take things in your house, and if it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. So somebody had a really interesting question, which I had actually thought about when I've been recently watching her show, which in her show on Netflix, she basically goes into people's homes and helps them organize and get rid of things and just have just a happier life, because you really do. I mean,
less clutter.
You don't have
Less is
clutter.
more.
It's not stressing you out.
Yeah.
You're enjoying your home. And something somebody on one of her episodes said was, as they started to get rid of things, they realized that what few items they had less, they actually enjoyed a lot more than, like, if they had. So this guy was like a baseball card fanatic, and he had thousands and thousands of baseball cards, but he got rid of most of them, and he realized that the 50 cards he left himself with, he enjoyed and appreciated so much more than the thousands he used to have. So I thought that was a good way to look at it.
That is a great way.
But that leaves you to, what do I do with all those things in my house that do not spark joy, but I need? Like, your toilet brush, or really any of your cleaning supplies. Those don't spark joy for a lot of people,
No.
but you need them. They're necessary. You know, even some clothing items, like somebody on like a Reddit board had mentioned, like, I live in a cold climate and I have these really big coats. I don't really enjoy wearing them, but I have to have them. So what do I do with these things that don't spark joy?
Good question.
And she had a great response. So if they don't spark joy, but you need them, she said, one, if there's something you have your eye on that could replace that item that you actually enjoy, then replace it. Get a new one if you want to, donate the old one. But if it's something that there's really not another version of it that'll make you happy, but you've got to have it, then you look at it as those things are helping you every single day, so you should appreciate how they're contributing to your life. Basically, you're changing your relationship with those items by realizing, okay, my broom does not spark joy, but my broom helps me keep my house clean, which does bring me joy.
See, that's kind of smart. I love that.
She is just like a wizard, Marie Kondo. I love her. So that is her knowledge on all those things that we all have that we don't necessarily love, but we have to have them. And I think that, again, that helps you appreciate them more. It helps you maybe not look at your broom and just be like, ugh, you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's about changing your mindset.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you, Marie.
This next story sparks joy for me because I love. So we got, you guys, if you are a fan of the show, first of all, we love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for being our fans.
Yes. So we covered this story a couple weeks ago about this king cake bakery. Their name is King Cake Snob, and they had posted a photo of their king cake on Facebook with the picture, the little, plastic baby that goes in the king cakes, you guys all know. And obviously, the baby is not clothed. Babies are not clothed. It's a little king cake plastic baby.
They're not born in clothes.
So anyway, I still have rage inside of me over this. King Cake banned this image for nudity.
Facebook, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Facebook banned this image for nudity of this king cake and this baby, which is just kind of bizarre. I was thinking it was a fluke, but they reached out to Facebook and they did not take this censorship down. So King Cake Snob has responded, and the story has come to a hilarious conclusion. King Cake Snob has created the world's first fully clothed king cake baby, which is like,
oh my gosh!
It has a Facebook shirt on, if you guys can't see that, which is just like the perfect touch. And Meg and I were talking about how we should send a king cake over to Facebook, and they actually sent this king cake.
This is what they sent to Facebook? That's great.
It to Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg got it. Well, I don't know if he actually got it, but they sent it to him. And I love that. So in the spirit of the Mardi Gras season, they sent it to Mark Zuckerberg and the Facebook team. It's a custom king cake, and it's complete with the world's first fully clothed king cake baby. I think they're having fun with it. They're being good sports, which is more than I can say for myself. So, you know what? That's awesome. I love that he's wearing a Facebook shirt, too.
I need a response from Facebook. I want to know what they were thinking, and then if they enjoyed this king cake.
Yeah,
and what they thought about the king cake.
Exactly.
Because our theory was the reason why they probably censored it is because none of those folks out there in their California office had ever had a king cake.
Yeah, if they would have known the goodness it is, a king cake, they would have never censored this baby. But I also thought maybe it's like an automatic thing, like if it sees skin, it will just censor it. But I'm like, I don't think so. I think someone manually, I don't know, maybe
someone reported that image.
Someone reported that baby. And I'll just say there are things I see on Facebook that should definitely be censored that are not a plastic baby. But anyway, it's come to a conclusion. I think they handled it with lots of grace, just as all Southerners do.
They did.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
All right, well, here is our weekly Chick-fil-A story.
Giving the people what they
it's
want.
not something to talk about if we don't talk about Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely.
Because we love it. So Chick-fil-A, remember they did the heart-shaped chicken and biscuits?
Yes.
A few years ago where they did the heart-shaped biscuits. So cute. Love them. So they've upped their game this year, and now you can either get a tray of chicken minis or chicken nuggets. So good. I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A after this. And they put them in a heart-shaped container, in a heart-shaped tin, and it's so cute.
It has like the little red around the edges and everything.
Yeah, if I had more forethought, I would have brought us a tray next week.
Yes.
We will. So yeah, you can either get a 30 count of Chick-fil-A nuggets or a 10 count of chicken minis in the heart-shaped container, and the Chick-fil-A restaurants will have them available until February 28th. Now, Chick-fil-A does stipulate that, you need to call ahead and make sure that your local restaurant, your local store does have them. And they're also first come, first served basis every day, so they might sell out. Yeah. But I love it.
That is such a cute idea. Listen, I told my boyfriend, I just want like flowers and chocolate for Valentine's Day, but then I'm saying this, I'm like, I don't know. I think really, if you want to say you love me, send me a tray full of chicken minis.
If I could get a heart-shaped tray of chicken minis and the heart-shaped cheese from Aldi,
wow.
That is a Valentine's Day for the books.
It really, that is. That, you know, I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day anyway, but that would make me a fan. That's awesome.
I love it. So this is the part of the show where I usually have my must-have, but Jory is taking over this week.
I've hijacked it because I have something so cute. So
she's been talking about this thing for weeks,
I love it.
I was like,
my mom's going to be excited because my mom got it for me. She found it. It's this little thing. It looks like a tube of lipstick. It fits so easily in your purse. It is called Smart Clear, and clear is spelled with a K, not a C.
Like a Kardashian?
Yes. You know, they should sponsor this, honestly.
They sponsor everything.
Yeah, really. So it's so easy. You just pull apart these two things, and out comes this little pad, right? And it's actually a cleaner for your iPhone. And we were just talking about Chick-fil-A. Let's say, you know, you had your nuggets. You go to mess with your phone. You get chicken, you know, grease on your phone. This will clean it right
Nugget fingerprints.
Yeah. So look, you just do. I don't want to show you guys my notifications. You just do like this. There? Yeah. And look. It's so clean, and it just is like, it doesn't hurt your screen or anything like that, and it's like no glares or anything, so it's just like perfect little.
This had to have come in your, was this in your Christmas stocking?
It was, I told you, yes. My mom put this in my Christmas stocking this year, and I have just loved it ever since, and all you do to put it back together is you just, wait, here we go, you just slide it right back in.
Parents put the best thing in Christmas stockings.
So easy. And that's it. And then now my screen is like nice, and you can feel the difference like right after you clean it. It's nice and like, you know, no smudges.
I love that.
That's so cute.
That's so great.
Yeah, Smart Clear. Everyone go pick one up.
I need like a big version for my computer, for my laptop screen too.
Like a big, just kind of like take it to your gigantic neck. Seriously, my screen gets nasty too. I'm always pointing at things and smudging it up.
That's awesome. Yes, Jory's mom. That's a great stocking stuffer.
Shout out to you, Mom.
Love it. Well, yeah, I had to give her, she's been talking about this thing for weeks. The first time she pulled it out, I thought it was like a mini razor or something.
Razor, oh yeah.
I thought you might, you know, they make those little mini razors to like do your eyebrows or something. I was like, are you really going to do that at work, Jory? That is not hygienic.
That is not cool.
And then it was just really screen.
Yeah. You know, just clean it right off. I love this thing, so yes. Sorry for hijacking your must-have. Jory's must-have doesn't have the same ring to it, but
that's all right.
Meg's must-have presented by Jory.
Oh, that's perfect.
Anyway, that's all we have for you guys this week.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see y'all next week when it's February. Yes. I feel like January has lasted for 2 years.
It has, yeah. We're 5 months into 2019 and it's still January. Well, that's all we have for you guys. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and tune back in next Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, bye y'all.